So, this is my post-half term recap, I guess, like what's happened over half term. I'm just talking about it basically because a bit has changed over half term. Like, quite a bit has changed over half term, and actually, there's some meta things that I need to discuss which I haven't written down, so we're gonna improvise those as well because now that I think about it, there's been some Overwatch implication changes um, which I haven't really considered. I mean, I've discussed it before, haven't thought about it too much, um, but now I guess is the perfect time to think about it. So let's go into just what I've got written down, which isn't much. Um, so I forgot to record my gameplay yet again, and because there's been a new patch, it means that I can no longer go back and re-record the it's here this comparison video. Now, the question is, and the same question that I had to ask myself with these is, how can I compare my gameplay of two heroes if they're different heroes? Because the way that Junker Queen functions is completely different to the way Sigma and Ramattra and Reinhardt functions. They might have similar pathing because Junker Queen and Ramattra and Reinhardt are all the same hero, are all brawl heroes, sorry, but they're different heroes overall. Their kit does different things. Junker Queen's shout completely functions differently to Reinhardt's shout because Junker Queen exists on a plane of she is almost a squishy. She is one headshot from a DPS away from becoming a squishy, and which means that she requires so much more natural cover. As with Reinhardt, he can close distances through, and it wouldn't be good gameplay, but less clever rotations. It doesn't necessarily have to be absolutely perfect pinpoint rotations because he can just use his massive shield to make these rotations more viable as long as he's putting himself in a position to recharge shield before engage. Now, the thing is, there are heroes that will always be in meta, like Sigma. Sigma is specifically inherently good in poke maps, or he is the only real poke tank. While other tanks can poke, he is the go-to. Um, so maybe I just go and record some Sigma gameplay, and I can bypass this. Still though, there's been some changes over half term to my gameplay, and we wanted to do a start to finish comparison, so I may just have to use. It's difficult to say whether or not I've improved using just gameplay because the hero change, it's not necessarily a viable thing. Um, so I do have to ask myself, can I even... Okay, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Control Z. There we go. Can I even use old recordings and then compare my old Junker Queen to my new Reinhardt? Does that work? Probably not. So I think the best way to go about this now is, even though that it'd be less proven, the only real way to show it is just by taking word of mouth from Mick and taking rank change, because rank change is important. It does definitely show a level of improvement. And if you speak to Mick, anytime we speak to him, he says, I have definitely improved since the last time we've done anything together, because we do tend to take big breaks between our VODs, because I've been doing a lot of self-VODing, which has meant I've got less reliance on him. And unless I really need his specified help because I don't understand something, it's usually fine. Anyway, continued my 2 hours a day plus VOD review every day over half term. brilliant. I have kept consistent, which has meant that my return now is not going to be affected at all by rustiness because I've kept my level of aim, game sense, ability to think about the game, and even improved over this time. And I climbed to Masters. So, just to double check that this is... I'm not sure if the video has been on at all this entire time. I hope it has. I am now a Masters 5 tank player. um, which, and this number right here is very much wrong, by the way. I just want to say Plat 2 isn't where I finished. I was actually Diamond 2 or Diamond 1 when I finished. And Blizzard have actually admitted this. They messed up and they kept rank decay on for the first hour. So anybody who logged on in the first hour, their final rank was actually edited. Like I hadn't, I got moved down in damage for some reason, not in support. Don't know why that was, but some people had their rank changed. Some people actually went up, others went down. They said it was to reset people to their real MMR, and then I immediately climbed back out of Plat 2, straight back into High Diamond this season, and then from High Diamond, my Wrecking Ball has had a 73% win rate, which is pretty nice. Winston's had 58% win rate, which is pretty nice. My Sigma, not going to talk about it. Ramattra 69%, Rhine 93, and then this is kind of where we get into like 25 minutes of Doomfist isn't really saying much because mostly this Doomfist swap is for stall, if anything. And the Diva is more just specifically to counter a Pharah, but there isn't enough time on those ones. But these top three, my Sigma has been absolutely awful, and I've done a VOD review on it, so we're currently working on that to try and get my Sigma up to pace. Because my Sigma is nowhere near a Masters level. My Ramattra I've been doing a little bit of tuning on and have managed to win a game or two on it since I've learnt what I needed to learn about him. It's definitely safe to say though, a bit has changed. And again, the screen keeps going black, which is worrying me, but I think it's just because I'm tabbing out of Overwatch and it's taking a second to come back. So I'm not sure though if this change is going to prove my theory because it's undocumented improvements. There's no documentation of my gameplay or my VOD reviews. So does this prove that KPIs are not needed? I mean, I can go through all my Google Drives and sheets and stuff and show that I don't have any KPI sheets that are there from this half term. The only ones I've got from Project One, but I don't know if that necessarily proves anything. Which does kind of worry me because I've made such big strides and now like I don't have any proof. I do have some proof, but it's not brilliant proof of my previous gameplay. Um, and now I've made a big stride and I haven't documented it because it was over half term and I didn't want to record VODs. I was just watching over gameplay and being less critical about it and just being very casual about it. Not so casual as to have it be less effective, but it was definitely it was definitely different to how I've done it when I've recorded it, which is getting Epic Pen out and really, really hammering home all my points and making sure that it's clear. Um, how will I fit jits being jujitsu into my workout schedule? So yesterday, because today is Tuesday, the 18th, yesterday, Monday the 17th, I did jujitsu. It's a combat sport which I really like doing. And yeah, jujitsu is just really fun. Um, and it's physical and it's a good workout. I can feel it right now, especially in my neck because I've been choked out a little bit. that it has worked, and I'm much stronger, and I feel much better, and I feel like I look better as well. I think anyway. And I'm not gonna get shirtless, but um, and how do I fit that in? Because yesterday was supposed to be my run day, but because I knew I was going to jiu-jitsu, I thought I'm not gonna go for a run. So then today I was supposed to go for a run and woke up too late. But honestly, I feel too exhausted to even do that because I tried to run yesterday after jiu-jitsu and my abdominal pain, my lower ab pain was insane. The burn was insane just from doing a bit of jiu-jitsu, and then like it was that bad that my abs hurt from running. Um, so how do we supplement this? I think the way that I'm going to do this is I've got jiu-jitsu on Thursday, so naturally my Wednesday was going to be my break anyway. So we take the rest Wednesday. Thursday, I'm supposed to be going for a run. Instead, I'm going to opt for a Thursday jiu-jitsu session for an hour before scrim. Friday, I wake up in the morning and I go for a run. Yeah. Friday morning, wake up, go for a run, get my training in. And it's my day off and it's my birthday. So I'm going to have a nice day on Friday after that. Now, the big thing, the big implication change for Overwatch. This guy right here, Lifeweaver. He is the new character. He came out April 7th or something. April 4th or April 11th, actually. I think it is April 11th because we're not that far into the season yet. And there he is, Lifeweaver.
Spend every moment growing.
He is a really bad hero.
Safety in numbers.
So he probably won't change the meta. His abilities kind of don't make him very good. As you can see, only just about out healing the training bots. He's got okay damage, but he doesn't fit into any sort of category of what's good. I mean, he's got this tree thing, which is pretty okay. It breaks real easy though. He isn't going to change the meta.
I have you.
So there aren't any implications from him, although there may be when he gets added into comp, there'll also be a change. So he may become meta then. And his abilities do, in some way, change the way that things could work. I mean, he can grab people and pull them away. So maybe it'll be a heavy support meta where a really good support can actually just carry. Because a really good support can essentially just save their tank from inting. But also what people are worried about is that Lifeweaver is just going to go stand and spawn and do this and just pull people towards him. And the tree isn't very good because it doesn't have much health.
Life protects life.
So that's the big concern. But Lifeweaver not too good. Whether or not the patch notes are still on display. The patch, yeah, okay, here we go. Lifeweaver, not very good. Don't care about him. And there were some hero changes. This is not true though, as a statement that came out. But it's a bit of a meta change though. Reinhardt not as good anymore. And that means that Rein has kind of fallen out of the brawl meta, and now, I mean, good Reinhardts can still make Reinhardt work. It is as simple as he's not strictly the meta, but he's not so awful yet that he is incapable. But even though he has only technically lost 25 HP, his effective health has actually dropped by 50 HP, which doesn't sound like much, but the difference between 50 armor health, because all damage taken on armor health is 30% reduced. So when you have 300 armor health, you are very, very difficult to kill. As soon as that armor health fades away, it is disgusting. I think it's actually more like a 75 HP reduction, effective HP reduction, which makes him so much more killable when he tries to brawl, which means that he can't brawl as freely. Like, he can't just get into brawl range and then just swing on people. Developer comment: Reinhardt has been overperforming after the recent increases to his offensive capabilities. Those changes have been playing well, so to adjust his overall power, we're reducing his overall health through this armor reduction. Sigma had like a slight nerf, but not too bad. Impact damage reduced from 60 to 40, 80 damage total with explosion. Which now essentially means that Sigma can no longer one-shot targets, which made him a bit more viable and ranked. It's more of just a rank change, whereas in scrims and stuff, he'd still be the poke tank, and even now he is still the poke tank. Like Roadhog's Chain Hook, Sigma's Accretion and Primary Fire combo can be highly lethal and can feel like a guaranteed kill against 200 health targets. We're reducing the damage slightly to require an additional volley of primary fire, but are also increasing the stun duration to provide allies with more opportunity to follow up on successful impact. So 0.3 extra seconds. So essentially, if a tank dives in now, it's so much easier to follow up. Like a Doomfist dives in and you land the rock. The opportunity for that hero to die, if you've got like a Cassidy on your team, is once he is accreted, he's going to be on the floor for what might not seem like a lot with the numbers, but is a lot when in actuality. Um, but it just means that Sig has to have more neutral value and doesn't have as much pick potential. But in poke, you don't necessarily have to find picks because you still end up winning the fight anyway, and also there's still a lot of pick potential, because that is a lie. Because if you think about Circuit Royale first point, the amount of free shots Sig can get, he is likely to end up finding a second volley or a teammate just sending random spam, because it's poke and people spam a lot of stuff. Cass had a slight nerf, base health reduced, and now Magnetic Grenade deals 11 less damage, and I believe that actually makes it so that he can't grenade body shot kill people anymore, but it does put them almost at death. Sombra can now disable Blizzard using EMP. Maximum duration on tank heroes reduced from 30% from 5 to 3.5, so tanks get slept for less time than squishies do, which I think is good. Brigitte now gains 100 restorable armor health pool for the duration of rally, so she no longer stacks health on herself when she's in rally. No longer gradually builds temporary health like nearby allies. Rally now upgrades her barrier shield, increasing both its size and health. Barrier health increased from 300 to 750 during the ultimate. During rally, shield bash now impacts multiple enemies and briefly stuns them. Bonus movement speed reduced from 30 to 15%. Range reduced from 30 to 25. Mercy just got reverted back to her old ways. Moira can now fade during her ult. Bonus movement speed reduced. Lingering heal duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds. So Moira got a buff. Map pools have been disabled. All maps now in rotation, which I really like. I think that's good. But the one thing that I wanted to discuss is basically we see these changes now. Okay, we've got a Rein nerf, we've got a Cass nerf, we've got a slight Mei nerf, not too good, not too insane. Not too bothered. A massive Brig buff. All of this kind of leans towards a Reinhardt is kind of falling out the meta because you'd always see Mei, Cass, Rein. That is the standard combo. So I'd say what this kind of shows is Brig is really good with Wrecking Ball. Brig Zen is like the Wrecking Ball backline, which obviously increases Ball's opportunity for play. And you play Sombra with Wrecking Ball too, so those are just two buffs indirectly for Ball. We've got Brawl now being taken out of the equation, which just means more opportunity for stuff like Winston to be played. And if you watch any of the pro games as well, it's almost all Winston with some Brawl, but the Winston actually being played in favour of Brawl, even on Brawl maps like King's Row. Reinhardt is still not even the favourite now. It's Winston. But those are all the implication changes that I wanted to discuss. I think overall, they aren't like the entire philosophy of the game isn't going to change because of these. But it is still a change, and it does mean that my hero pool has to expand because Rein was meta and now it's Ram. Well, Rein's still, but Ram is much better because Ram is actually a counter to Reinhardt because when he pops Nemesis, he does about 200 damage to the shield per punch and can punch through shield still and damage Reinhardt. So if you get in a position where you force out a cooldown, Ram can either just pop Nemesis and walk past Rein and Rein can't stop him, or he can pop Nemesis and kill Reinhardt and then engage on backline. Um, which obviously makes Ramattra very, 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 very strong. Um, it just means I have to expand my hero pool, and now I have to go back to practicing Ball as well because Ball is quite strong. I don't have to. I could play Winston too, and I have been playing Winston. I mean, the increase in hours that I play does mean that my ability to just learn heroes on heroes on heroes is completely fine. If I just turned around and said that today I'm just going to go play 2 hours of Sigma, I could do that. And then if I wanted to dedicate a day a week to a certain hero, it's not how I should do it. I could do that, and because of the increased amount in time, it's viable because there's enough time now in a week, 14 hours to practice 4 heroes. We're giving ourselves 3.5 hours every week to practice each of those heroes. 3.5 hours is a lot of time to work on mistakes, especially when you have something in mind. With my Ramattra, what I've noticed is a lot of the time I engage on low HP when I pop Nemesis, so then there isn't a lot of HP for me to engage on. I need to force out cooldowns more. A lot of the time I rotate out main. Those things need to stop happening. I need to play corner to corner like I did with Reinhardt, and I need to poke out essential things. With Winston, I need to work on my juggle mechanics. That is one hero where I think maybe mechanics needs to go up a little bit. Just because I could probably follow up on a lot more kills if I was more comfortable with that. Winston, I need to stop taking poke in pre-fight and just like go because a lot of the time As Mick likes to say, I don't play dive with Winston. I play sit in main and take poke, and then dive with no resources and die. Um, that is how Mick likes to describe what my dive looks like, which is fair because I do that a lot. So that's what I need to work on. I need to just be quicker. Not just quicker, I mean there needs to be an opportunity for an engage, but I need to stop waiting for the perfect engage. Like if there is a diveable target, I can just soft engage on them. Or I can bubble dance and try and force something out, and then usually if you go on a Baptiste against a Brawl, because you see he's in a position to be dived, if you go on him and you can force out Lamp, that cooldown is 28 seconds, whereas my jump is 5 seconds and my bubble is 12. So I can just re-engage in 12 seconds and then go jump on Baptiste, and that time he won't have the lamp to save himself. Especially if I land on him, I should be able to sustain myself there long enough. And if I force peel, then I'm putting pressure out, and they feel unsafe, and then they're using resources and they can't engage because they're down those pivotal, those crucial resources that they need to engage. Um, Sorry, I'm talking theory watch right now. But I do have things that I need to work on every hero, was the point. I've got enough time to do it. Waffling a lot. Bit of a meta change. Need to learn more heroes. That's it though. That was my post half term recap. That became a lot about talking and discussing meta on Overwatch and improvements and stuff. I mean, I guess that's part of the project, so I probably should be talking about that. But